Hey everyone, I'm Lisa, Broadway fangirl extraordinaire, and thanks for joining me for another episode of PNC Broadway and Columbus's Broadway Dish. Today is our 50th episode, and if that doesn't call for some jazz hands, I don't know what does. To celebrate our milestone, we asked you to submit some questions to be answered on this episode. We received a lot of great questions, but only have time to answer a few today, so let's dive right in. Cindy asked, can you share any info on how it is decided which shows go to which city? Are there multiple touring troupes of shows? Cindy, that is a great question. It really all depends on a tour's schedule and where the show first begins its tour. For instance, if a show starts out west, it's likely to travel from the west coast of the country to the east coast of the country, sometimes taking years to do so. Tours also tend to start in big cities like Chicago, San Francisco, or LA, and sometimes they stay in those cities for months. And here in Columbus, we are so very blessed to have so many amazing arts organizations using our beautiful theaters. So we need to make sure time is available on the theater schedule. But I can guarantee you that we are doing our very best to get the hottest shows on Broadway to Columbus just as fast as we can. A perfect example of this is that we are the second stop on the tour for both School of Rock and Waitress this year. And to answer the second part of your question, yeah, some tours do have multiple touring companies. However, those tend to be the big blockbuster shows. John said, you are so smooth and full of so much Broadway trivia. What was your favorite blooper that still makes you laugh just thinking about it? What is the most obscure fact you love to impress people with? John, you are very kind. I have plenty of bloopers, but luckily my teammates behind the camera make sure you don't see those. But I will say a bloopers episode is in the works, so stay tuned for that one. And as for my favorite bit of trivia, my favorites for this season are that Andrew Lloyd Webber got the idea for School of Rock from his wife, and that Rodgers and Hammerstein also got the idea for King and I from their wives. So the lesson learned today, if you need an idea for a musical, ask your spouse. And finally, Blair, Katie, and Abby all asked about my favorite shows. Hands down, my very favorite show that I've seen in New York is Jekyll and Hyde. It was the first show I ever saw on Broadway, and it was a magical experience. In Columbus, my favorite has been The Lion King. During one performance, I had the honor of sitting out in the lobby at the very beginning of the show. I got to watch all the actors transform from actors into animals for the Circle of Life parade, and hearing them sing was amazing. Also, seeing the joy in the audience's faces as the actors, as animals, made their entrances into the theater for the Circle of Life parade gave me goosebumps. I experienced a little bit of theater magic that night that I will never forget. Thank you so much to all of you that asked questions for this episode, and thank you for watching and sharing this with your friends. And that's it for this week's episode of PNC Broadway and Columbus's Broadway Dish. We'll see you again next week. Bye!